Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Get a Steady Stream of Higher-Paying Coaching Clients Without Being Pushy. And today I want to talk about something that comes up a lot. This is a topic that I have personally invested a lot of time and energy in. I've written several books. It's actually 3 books on this topic. It's something when I talk to other coaches specifically and service professionals in general that they kind of bring up. And it's this idea of getting referrals, all right? And there's nothing wrong with referrals. But the idea is that, and really the question is, can I build my business strictly by referrals? So I don't do anything else. Can I build my business strictly by referrals? And that's interesting because, I understand how everyone's trying to get more business. I know when I first got started, I was having a devil of a time getting business, referrals or otherwise. I would go out, I would network, I would meet with folks. They would say that they wanted to talk with me. We might wind up doing something like a coffee or something like that. And, we would be talking, going back and forth, and they would be listening and taking notes and listening some more and taking some more notes and nodding their head. And then they would, I would just be coaching essentially. And then the money part would come up. I would be like, hey, listen, here's what it would look like if we were to work together. And they were like, you're great, but I can't afford you. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do in order to be able to get people who can afford my rates? And I gotta tell you, it got so bad that I actually had $20 or less in my checking account on 4 separate occasions. I don't know if people believe me when I say that, but I can assure you I was there, and that's exactly what happened. So one of the things I do is I tell people, listen, I know where you're coming from, and I've made it, I won't say my life's work, I think that's a little aggressive, but I've made an important mission in my business life to work with people and to show them how to get a steady stream of higher paying coaching clients without being pushy. Because, like I said, I've run into tons of people who are really good at what they're good at. They've got a world-class training background and a real strong commitment. But what they don't have are the right systems and tools for consistently attracting people who can actually afford their rates. So what I do is I put together a step-by-step program to help people stop talking to tire kickers and start getting a steady stream of higher paying coaching clients without being pushy, salesy, or otherwise over the top. So that brings us back to our question. Is it possible to just, should I just get business by referrals and that's kind of it? And I gotta tell you, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but why would you? I mean, seriously, if the premise of being a coach was and still is to be able to affect lives, that's what my premise is. If that's why you, other people got started, then why would you limit yourself just by getting referrals? Why wouldn't you do other things like social media, content marketing, presentations, podcasting, webinars? If you want to go to that next level, maybe even Facebook ads and some stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all of that, and there's some of the things that you might want to do and others you don't. Of the ones I just mentioned, I actually do all of those, but that's not the point. You don't have to do all of that, but why would you just say, oh, well, I don't want to do any of these other things, and I just want to, get referrals, and that's the only channel that I want to have in order to affect people's lives, if my main goal is to affect people's lives. And people are like, oh, well, I only get referrals, and I'm really picky because, blah, 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 and I've got this waiting list, blah, blah. Let me tell you what. Personal note, anybody who's trying to tell me that they have this waiting list of clients, here's the deal. Either you're lying or you have your business set up in a manner that is not being the most efficient. Because I've been doing this for over 15 years. I've never had this waiting list that some of these people like to talk about. I'm just saying, maybe you need to run some small groups so that you're not all one-on-one. Maybe you need to get up a little earlier. Maybe you need to work with people in a different time zone from you so that way it's not a big deal. But this idea, or maybe you're just working at part-time and this idea of, you only have 4 hours a day to do something and that's how you have this waiting list. That's fine, actually. I don't have a problem with that. But there's these people who try to, oh, I've got this big waiting list. One guy was, I've got 2-year waiting list. you're an idiot, because you should be farming that out to somebody else. And really, not only are you an idiot, but you're also actually doing, I think, borderline malpractice, actively engaging and withholding from clients who are saying, you're telling me you want to work with you, but because you only get business by referral and you've got this huge waiting list, you haven't farmed that out or developed a program or automated something so that people can get the help while they need it, but instead they need to wait on your schedule. That doesn't make any sense. But here's the better point in terms of, can you get a business all by referral? Here's the better point. Not only the question is, why would you want to, but I don't think you can even if you did. Now, before 1999, all right, let's say maybe you could have. So 20, 30 years ago, could you have done it? Let's say you can. What's changed, Brian? This thing called the internet, which has put a plethora of choices that people have on what they can do: sneakers, shoes, boots, and coaches, right? All of this stuff has just exploded. So, before in the 90s and the 80s, I can't speak for the 80s, but in the 90s, you didn't have all of these options. So if you saw Sally Smith, life coach extraordinaire, you didn't, and Sally Smith was booked up, that was it. You had to go on that waiting list. Or if somebody is telling you, hey, listen, you need to talk to Sally Smith, you didn't have 28 other options. You're like, well, if John's saying Sally is great, well, then I guess that's what I'm going to go with, hence the referrals. And also, people were a lot less selfish. And I'm just going to go there for a second. People were a lot less selfish. But now, that's not the case. Okay, and a lot of people think, and I think mistakenly so, they're running off of this premise that good service equals and leads to referrals and a steady stream of referrals. I think it leads to referrals. I know that. I can speak for that. But it doesn't lead to, it doesn't lead to $100,000 worth of business in referrals. It doesn't even lead to $50,000 worth of business in referrals. In my experience, you have to go out and get business, get the referrals, continue to get the business, and the referrals and the active measures winds up moving you forward. So when people say to me, or the question is, well, I can just get all my business by referrals, I'm going to respectfully push back. I'm going to respectfully suggest that you go out and check out our Facebook page, where we've got all kinds of stuff on there, different options of actually getting business. You're going to want to go to facebook.com, then you're going to want to go to groups, obviously. It's a free group, and you just type in how to get higher paying coaching clients. What you will find is some good stuff that will help you move forward. And again, back to the question, even if what it is they're saying is true, having this waiting list and only wanting to do referrals, why would you want to do that if the objective is to be able to go out and affect as many lives as possible? Now, if the objective is something else, to protect my ego, to not go out on a limb, to look like I'm this, that, or the other, well, then that makes perfect sense. But if the objective is to affect lives, if the objective is to be a problem solver, then absolutely that's what's going to need to happen. All right? So, again, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.